And welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Ms.Marvel Spoilercast. As always, I'm Mitch. You can find me on Twitter at 692tweets, and of course, I'm joined by Sean.
Hey, you can join me at Instagram on Marvel_the_Martian_12.
I apologize now if anyone can hear wind or clacking. It is a nuclear wind or nuclear fire in the UK right now, so all windows and doors are open to have some wind come through. So, yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure people are gonna hear my kid scream, so the wind that'll take their mind off the wind or something.
So right, episode 5 of Ms.Marvel.
I'm gonna stand still and let you punch me in the gut for a couple of minutes.
Right. What do you think I'm gonna say?
Well, we'll start with the powers still irritate you.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah,
the time travel thing. Let's just have it. I'm a spoiler.
I'm going to try and not kick you in the gun as well.
Go ahead. I'm worth. I can.
This show is the first time I agree with people that it needs to be more episodes. This show is desperately screaming out for an episode to explain what that bangle can actually do. Because it's just lending itself to me not liking it even more because it's so vague. It's like, your powers are unique to you. You can channel the Nora in all this way and then suddenly Cameron gets the exact same powers at the end, and it's like, so it's not unique. But she can time travel if you smack the bangle. It's like is Ms. Marvel going to be a character, or is she just going to be a plot device going forward? Because I'm worried about
that. You can say whatever you want now. Just get it all out. Come on.
I kind of was.
That's it.
If she can time travel on a whim because of that bangle, then what else can she do? Because it seems like just pulling things out of thin air to be like, we need this specific thing right now. The bangle can do it just because bangle.
I don't think she was like traveling in time on a whim. I mean, it did get struck by something. So
yeah, but no, I'm saying that in the future, if she wants to time travel, she can just go right, cool, smack the bangle, and back in time. All right.
I don't know. I don't think it's that is the case. I think it's just a way to get her to that. I don't know, man. Like, just it's. I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just starting to not come round on the powers. I was getting used to the idea of them, right? And it's just like, I can live with this and not complain every 5 seconds, but. It just being able to pull time travel out of its ass is too much for me. Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. Maybe that'll be explained on Wednesday. I don't know.
I mean, if this last episode, or to be fair, actually, I wouldn't like that. If it's like, hey, here's 50 minutes of how this bangle works. Here's 10 minutes, here's 5 minutes of action, 10 minutes of credits. Like that would be a horrendous finale for me. But if they make it an actual effort to explain how this thing works, what it is, I can hold off into the Marvels. It's just right now, it's so deliberately vague. It's kind of annoying. So I'm just waiting for what else is going to happen. Like, what else is she going to pull out of that thing?
I mean, a rabbit, maybe. I don't know.
We're not expecting the rabbit, to be honest. It's like, okay. It's an idea come to life, or make a damn rabbit, Kamala. Come on.
I don't know. I don't want to comment until the last episode, and
that's fair.
Because it's just, I think it might be satisfying for you. I don't know from this conversation.
I mean,
maybe not.
I will say one thing that the continued honey dicking of Inhumans has given me hope on something. It's keeping me going. Like, they got me by the short and curlies, and it's keeping me not attached to the show because everything else it makes me laugh, this entire thing, because the superhero stuff in this show is not their best work. It's not horrendous. It's not bad. The bangle and the powers it's too all over the place to me right now. The way everything else fine. The villains are absolutely the worst out of the shows. Maybe
Yeah,
even the movies.
I mean, the villains are like
I'm
the
kind of
best.
leaning like Malekith isn't the bottom anymore. I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, Malekith at least had dialogue, right, before he died. The clandestines don't have nothing. No, it's okay. But like the multi-generational trauma and like the family stuff is absolutely keeping me in this show.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they focus more on that because half of that is literally Kamala's story. I get it. I appreciate that is the focus of it. Well done for making it as good as it is. It's just if everything else was nailed, this would absolutely be one of the best things, right? I'm not even gonna say it's low on any form of ranking or whatever because I think there's far worse that Marvel's put out than this show. Even with
I mean,
and the power change, like
Inhumans is still at the very bottom of this.
I'm clutching my pearls on it. It's just like they're coming. I can feel it.
I don't know. That's kind of. I think that's kind of. I don't agree with that. I think Inhumans is still very much at the bottom of the barrel.
No, I agree. I wasn't saying that this is below Inhumans, but in any way, shape, or form, like no, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the half of this show that I adore is very much keeping it above a fair chunk of Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I'll wait till next week to really think of where I want to put everything.
Looking forward to Jared being on the show next week because that might give me some time to kind of hold my thoughts.
I'm prepared to hold the L on everything. Like, no, I've done it before. I've eaten McCrow. It's fine.
Yeah, but he's so elegant when he speaks, so it's like it's hard to. He's so much smarter than me when it comes to talking. Jared.
I was talking about myself.
Oh yeah, well you're second smarter to me, so I'm at the bottom, but like I don't speak very well. So.
It's like, you know, if this finale literally comes out and it's like, hey, we're 70 minutes, 60 minutes of story, 10 of credits, I'll be exceptionally happy because then it's like, hey, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and eventually Y. No.
Did they list the time? The
time
for the finale, like how many minutes of the shit?
I have no idea, to be honest. Man, if it's anything like this episode being like 35 minutes long, slight worry. It's like it's
gonna be 45 to 50 minutes, easy.
I hope so. It needs to be. But this whole episode to me very much felt like the Inquisitor's Castle episode from Kenobi. It's like this. Like it's not a horrendous. Like the Aisha and I can't think of his name. What's his name? Oh, I'm gonna
her son.
This real quickly. No, the dad to the grandma. Or the grandmother.
I can't remember.
I can't think what he's called. I want to say like Hassan. Is it Hassan?
Could have been. I don't want to butcher the name, so.
I'm certain it begins with a H.
Yeah,
certain of it, but I can't remember right now.
So you didn't like this episode as much? Is what you're saying?
Right. I like the episode. I think it could have been integrated into the show a little bit better. Personally.
Yeah, I'm a little, and I'm a disappointed. There's one disappointment of the episode is like the fact that she actually time traveled was a little bit of a that was my. And I was never when I saw it, I was never really a fan of that either because that poses the problem of explaining why or how. So I'm more of.
And it also I'm not going to be one of the people that be like, oh, it contradicts the like end game and everything we've known before. It's like you can have different forms of time travel. Like they state in Endgame, it's more going to a parallel like universe of your version of the past. It's not necessarily going back to the past. So that one was
it's
science,
like watching
one was
a
magic. You can have a distinction between the two. So I'm perfectly fine with like that. I'm not gonna sit here and be one of those people, but it's I think the biggest defender of the time travel is it got predictable that the second she's there, it's like, oh cool, she's gonna be the trailer stars. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And the trailer stars is like, right, well, we spent 5 episodes showing you that when these things break, they break and disappear. But now conveniently it's a sat nav or a GPS. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I wasn't.
I'm allowing you to get your frustrations out. I'm not. Okay, it's like a therapy session. Just let it out. Like
The thing is, I prepared myself to come on here and talk about more how bad the clandestines were than anything else, because I thought that was.
I feel like they're a little bit more forgettable. That's why nobody really wants to talk about them, because it's not really much to talk about. I think they were just kind of.
They've had 4 scenes, and in those 4 scenes, they've gone from hey to dead.
Yeah, like, okay. I think they worked as a like introduction to where her mother came from more than an adversary. Like they were just like
but even that, I think you could take them out of the show completely and entirely, and just have the Bangle be the visions of, and like how she unravels this mystery of who Aisha is and where she came from and what happened to her in the partition.
I think in my opinion, I think the more interesting story would have been having Damage Control more of a antagonist than these guys.
Yeah, because now they're the big bad for the end of the series. It's like, okay, the people that got more screen time are now dead, but the main focus now is the ones that have literally like less half the scenes of the main bad guys. It's
15 minutes total, probably.
Yeah, it's just weird. There's some weird choices in this show, and that's not necessarily bad themselves. I just think execution wise is a bit lackluster.
Yeah.
Actually, not lackluster. It's an afterthought compared to the important stuff that is Kamala and the family.
Yeah, I think if you couldn't do the clandestine in a cohesive way, then just don't do them at all. Just take them out completely. Because they really didn't serve a purpose. They served a purpose of getting her to Kamala to a certain point in the show.
Yeah,
and then
and also, hey, this is how we give Kamran powers.
Yeah.
Like you could have quite easily just had Kamran with the powers already and introduced him
and
that
like
way.
Something unlocked him. Like maybe the Bangle unlocked that ability.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because right now it's like, how did I don't even know how he got his powers. She says his name and then he's surrounded by the Nor. Like I didn't really understand how. Obviously it's mystical magical stuff, like whatever. A wizard did it, who cares? But it's just so vague, and that's my problem. I know. I don't want everything. I don't want the movie stopped and then a 15-minute PowerPoint of explaining exactly how everything works, like the quantum mechanics of how this Bangle came into being. But
I think you're gonna get a lot more in that in the Marvels. To be honest with you, I think they're gonna get more.
That's kind of what I'm expecting at this point. Yeah.
I think
I just wish that it didn't come at a cost to the show.
I think there's a show where you still have like the mystery of the Bangle, but it's not the forefront of the show like it was, and still have the Bangle sort of in the peripheral. So when the Marvels came out, it wouldn't have been a huge issue, because like up to this point, the Bangle was the main focus of the show. Whether or not they explain anything on the last episode, that remains to be seen. But like, I feel like I'm
expecting the tiniest of carrot on the longest of sticks.
A very, purple carrot. But,
Why can't you be a stretchy carrot? Damn it!
Didn't mean to add salt to the wound. Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna get some explanation at the end.
My
but
only
you're gonna
thing,
get
like,
more.
normally I'd expect an explanation at the end of the show, but
Hmm.
everyone who could explain it to her's died. The clandestines have died. Waleed's died. He obviously knew something about it. Aisha, is Aisha dead? I don't think we specifically know. Like, yes, she got stabbed and Najma walked away because that's apparently all she's done in this show.
Yeah,
Shank someone and then bugger off. But
I like
who
the
else
word.
is there to explain what it is? Like, unless Cameron knows, but
Um,
I don't get the impression he's
could
a knowledgeable, in the loop kind of guy.
what if the Bengal explained it? Like,
Right. If the Bangle projects a massive, right, I'm going to be 100% honest here. If the Bangle starts acting like the Supreme Intelligence scenes in Captain Marvel, yes, I would accept that vagueness being pulled out of stars. I 100% I'd be, and then we get the big giant globby head. Like, yes, that is fine for me because that makes sense. If it's a Kree tech, you obviously going to have some communication with the Kree, and we know that you can just kneel down on a pile of light or something, whatever she sat on in Captain Marvel. You can
a
talk to Supreme
light.
Intelligence. Like, that would make sense to me because it's like, hey, there's light, there's a Nord, Kree. We know it's related to the Kree because of the one thing they've possibly hinted at in this show. Like, we know there's that connection right there. That would be fine.
Well, plus you got the connection of like the connection that we already know is going to happen. But it just hasn't happened yet. She's going to be a part of the Marvel, so like that is a big hint at where this is going in a way. Because it's like there's no other adversary that I can see that could correlate with the Marvel. With Captain Marvel and whoever is in the Marvel family. That would make
because
more sense than
apart from Monica, they're all related to the Kree.
even
Monica has that scroll connection because of the Captain Marvel movie, but she, her powers aren't from Kree. Her powers are from Wanda.
Well,
unless they just, I don't want to be like, unless they're really vague and come out and explain that her powers are somehow Kree related. Like, hey, no, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's where I think her name, her being related to I think with Monica it stops at her friendship with Carol.
Yeah.
It's
Unless,
her powers
this is just me. I've pulled this completely at like the depths of my bowel. This has been pulled out of from if her powers are light based, you could probably tie it to the whole Nor thing.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
I think
the lights of the Terror, because that was clearly a very Terrigen thing happening there.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
they
could say that the stone, the Infinity Stone, activated the power.
What Stone though?
Well, I mean, Wanda activated
activated
that she always had it in her and put yada yada yada. But that's how.
No, we already WandaVision already said it's altering your genetics and everything. It's like, yeah, you could just say it's just triggered the Terrigen.
Yeah.
Or not the Terrigen, but it triggered that Inhuman gene that gave her.
Or
we have two Inhumans.
Or they could just say that the Kree have been doing this for years and years and years. That they've come to Earth experimenting on people, and that some people, because you could place this in the 5-year. I guess you can. She disappeared in the blip. I was gonna say if she was alive, in the 5-year gap, you could use that as a placement. But she disappeared, so nix that. So.
I hate realizing that. It's like, oh, you could do this in the 5 years. No, you can't. Now dusted. Like, god damn it.
Yeah. I think it's hard to place. I mean, you could. I guess you could say that. Her connection to Carol and the Kree, and the Skrulls could mean that the Kree already knew about her and kind of targeted her or whatever. When Carol was gone. Because there's a huge gap between the character when Carol left and when she came back, you know, and like we don't know what happened to her, Monica, in between that. So I guess you could use that, but like that's a little stretchy.
I wish there was someone a little stretchy, but
or I mean, eventually you're gonna
I saw that low hanging fruit and I'm like, I'm picking it. I don't care. I'm going for it.
Taking it. It tastes sweet.
I feel bad about it, but I went for it.
I mean, you're gonna get a stretchy person regardless. So I mean, it's coming. Like, whether you have
That's
two
not good
kids.
enough. Not good enough.
No, I don't know. I'm gonna be. It's good. Like, I think it's gonna be an interesting conversation next week. More so.
I hope so. I really hope this show, above any of them all, or any of the others, has the
sticks the landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope it has a really strong landing. Right now, it's just like, okay, cool. I'm expecting Cameron to find out that his mother died, and he's a villain in the comics, so he's going to be a villain here, and he's going to have a purple and blue fight, while Damage Control tries to do something and fail miserably because racist. But yeah,
Any brown person.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm expecting. I'm hoping the stuff around it really elevates it. You know, especially with all this work about her suit, and it's like Wally going, here's the blue jacket that you're gonna wear in the next episode, and the mum being like, it's Kamala's necklace, it's broken, like, which is I like that, by the way.
Yeah,
I really like that touch, even though I find it funny she's walking around with just her name on her chest now. We've gone from having like quite a nice little symbolism and like a little legacy icon going on here to it's my name. I can't think what else to put in there. So that's my name. No, it's this
sushi,
fun.
but okay, you know, like who walks around with that name?
So you think it's that important, do you? Okay, like step down.
What I really find interesting is like in the trailers and everything in the promotion stuff, there's very little of the last episode in this. So there's like a couple.
Yeah, I think we have like one shot of her and Cameron when she's in the suit, and it's just like okay.
Yeah. So that is interesting to me because like they haven't really given away the ending, so which is odd, you know. Most times it's just like well, it's not Sony, so.
Like when we're doing the commentary, Armin pointed out that the shot of the circle cube blowing up is in the trailers, and it's like okay, I could totally forgot about that, but like why was that in the trailers of all things? Like okay, that's a bit weird. But...
I mean, that was this episode, so
yeah.
Full circle.
Which I'm gonna say this right now, and it's you're gonna have to take it however you want to take it. But the ending of this episode felt like the editor got bored and walked away. Because it's like you have you have powers, and it just cuts, and it's like that was really weirdly done. Like I get what they were going for, but there was just something about it that felt really weird. And they're like, that's okay, we'll put that out. Like,
a little unnatural,
I don't want to say it felt like an intern was just trying to do the typical explosion cliffhanger ending, but it kind of felt like. I was like, really? You end there? Okay, so you felt like you should have been a couple more minutes in this bit. Okay.
Cliffhanger ending, okay. Happens.
Yeah, it just felt weird. It's just a weird ending. Something just didn't.
A little unnatural.
Maybe it was the whole clandestine stuff in the episode, like just disappearing. But
yeah, well,
it just felt
skinned alive.
Skinned alive. Oh, they cocoon. I say cocoon.
I mean,
cocoon.
Anybody that thinks they're still alive, I think that is a definitive answer that they are not alive.
I mean, for all we know, that's their inhuman abilities. That they just slowly coming back together.
Wouldn't that be a terrible way to teleport though? Like that would just look painful.
Oh, it'd be horrendous. But isn't that essentially what Star Trek does? They deconstruct it, like it's, you know.
But it feels like the mist thing was like just kind of like unraveling their skin and their muscle. Each time, every revolution, there was like a different different, level of your body being, taken off and like to your skeleton.
It
And
was
just
quick as well. Just like, cool, you're a crystal now. Now you're dead. Okay.
dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think they're dead. Though. I'm pretty sure.
I'm hoping
But
they're
like
dead because they ain't got to be alive because they have no purpose. But
they were fodder.
I will. I
Not miss them.
look forward to 3 months from now where someone reminds me that they exist. And I'm like, oh yeah, the clandestine. Like, I forgot about those. But,
I think it is a misstep with them. I didn't think that they were the strongest. They're 100% not the strongest point of this series so far.
and it's unfortunate because you could really, this show is so close to what I wanted it to do, and like explore the different, obviously the finding, going back to your roots and everything angle is always going to be there for someone like Kamala, but it's just like you're saying she's this Jinn and that Jinns are real and exist and that there's this group of them. Let her explore that through them, please. Like, if you're gonna do it, go like lean into it. So, you're in Pakistan. You're literally like an hour or so. No, maybe not an hour. I don't know how geography works. But like the Himalayas are right bloody there. Like, just hop over do what Jinn do or whatever they do. I if they're gonna have different powers, like just
Please
jump
don't
over
say
to
hop
the
on a carpet.
Himalayas. Be like, hey, here's the Jinn society. Like, this is this da 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 da. Like, just explore this other side of it, please. No.
As long as they don't hop on a carpet and like be that stereotype.
I mean, yeah, let's not.
That's not the way to travel, man.
I mean, if it's the Aladdin carpet, then I'll make an exception here. But if it's any other color, then no.
I think that's kind of. I think I don't.
Think it's very on the nose, but it's one of those like, you know what, you're on the nose, but I might.
I almost think that the unraveling to your bone thing is a better way to travel than carpet. So how do you?
Is that carpet only human? No.
That's true. I mean, it could be like Lockjaw. Lockjaw's like actual inhuman that turn into that.
I don't think they actually ever explained what Lockjaw is.
I think they did maybe hint at that he was actually a. He didn't.
So what I say in Saladin and Med's run, Lockjaw has puppies.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, and this could very well be because like comics recon their fucking shit.
Oh yeah, they changed. Yeah.
Origin.
That's your one F-bomb. I don't want anymore.
Sorry
for the sake of YouTube. That's screwing this video. No more.
Sorry. I'm gonna get fired, people, because I have a curse like a sailor. But like I thought I read one time in a comic that he was actually he was actually a person, and that's when he went through the mist. That's what he turned into.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it very well could have been at one point. I've just got this very vague memory of Lockjaw with puppies and always being and actually being a puppy as well. So I'm not 100% sure.
That could have very well been the case. I'm old,
I mean, just because there was a puppy, it could have gone through the mist, came out as puppy Lockjaw.
It's true. That's cute.
Could have been the thing. Could have, been resurrected. Yeah. Maybe Najma's going to become Lockjaw, and that was the start of it. They had to shed the old clandestine Jinn skin to become little baby Lockjaw, and that's how
it could be. It could be like that door, that interdimensional door human.
Yes, and I can kind of not remember the name of the door. Was it Eldrak? I think it was Eldrak. It's something like that. But if we get any Humans reboot, I demand that door, and not how the Humans show done it. I want the full, like, ornate, over the top, very fancy looking door, not just that I'm a head in the wall. Is that
can we just say now that Inhumans are terrifyingly grotesque sometimes?
Oh yeah. 100% half the point. Just like, what lame, horrendous power am I gonna get this time? Cool, I'm a door. I try to think of what the worst ones are. What's a really bad Inhuman? I know it's a case of you could possibly die, like the clandestines did. That's the way you can go with Terrigen. Sometimes you just become like a Neanderthal type thing, then get sent to work in the mines.
That's terrifying. I would rather be a Dora than
I mean, if you're a door, you're useful, right? you serve a purpose. No.
So it's kind of it's kind of terrifying to know that thing was like a person with legs and arms, and now he's just people go inside of him to travel. Yeah. That's just.
I mean, terrifying. Hey, maybe it feels really good to for the door to have people inside him.
That's true. I mean, I never considered his feelings, so kind of dick.
No, yes, it might suck just stuck to one spot for the rest of eternity. You're not being able to talk or communicate with anyone. You know, you can hear people are saying, but you can't talk back. You know, maybe it just feels really good.
Yeah, it seems like Inhumans kind of like teeter the line of body horror. You know,
oh, 100%, yeah. 100%.
Like become a dog, you know, a dog humanoid.
They are Jack Kirby at their finest. These weird, grotesque, sometimes very useless powers. But sometimes you really luck out. You know, Medusa lucked out.
Well, I mean,
you got real lucky.
Do you think Black Bolt is lucked out, or do you think that's just scary? Like, can never talk, you know, like you never, and if you did, you just like disintegrate someone.
I think the amount of work that man has to do to like not even make a sound in his sleep. No, he didn't luck out. He didn't get. He got a short-ish straw.
Yeah, could you imagine like if they got intimate and like he got really loud? He just like.
Can you imagine trying to hold in a sneeze for eternity? That's how I imagine it's like to be Black Bolt.
One more question: what do you think farting does the same thing as like the yelling?
I hope to God no. I hope to God no.
If it's not, then I would be horribly. I would feel really bad because like there's sounds coming at both ends of me, and I would. If I just let loose one time, I destroy the house. You know, like done. So.
I hope for his sake it doesn't. I assume it's all vocal cords.
It's sort of the age-old question: does he shoot webs out of his butt? You know, question. Does he?
He should just make an actual like web shooter that goes around the waist and comes out the back.
Side note: I hope they really answer that question one day. Like with
what if he can shoot webs out of his ass? I mean,
I just one day, you know, just one movie or something like this, one line of dog, like. Oh, yeah, well, maybe, yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could, you know, the man spider, I imagine would. The Spider's man, I imagine could.
Or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, like that's like.
Well, didn't he categorically say no in No Way Home for that?
Yes, he did. Technically,
I've only seen No Way Home like twice, and that was nearly a year ago. Scarily enough, but yeah. I seen nearly a year ago.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Crazy that it's been that long since that movie has been out. Like
the passage of time is terrifying as you get older.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You start getting skin tags when you get older, and like, all these weird stuff happens. Dude. I'm starting to realize this. Like,
is this the reason why Kamala's not stretchy? Because they're like, if I'm with Eleni, it's still Ms.Marvel when she's like 50. She's getting like the stretchy arms are going to be all taggy and like liver spotty. It's going to be horrendous. Yeah, I mean, it's like the skin tags grow with the arms. Like, is that how that works? Do they say the same size, but they just stretch out? Like...
They're just terrifying looking. You know, like they're pieces of skin that just hang. Like my mom has a skin tag on her shoulder, and I'm like, what do you need to do to get that off? Because every time you wear something shoulder, I will gladly call my insurance and get that done today.
There's a couple of ways you can do it yourself. You can get like a bit of wire and like, you know.
Fuck, that's scary.
That was the second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of your fault. That was really terrifying. It really set me off.
Or you could buy these things that like you freeze the base of it, and after a couple of weeks it just falls off. That's enough about skin tag talk. We're gonna, for the sake of this staying on YouTube, we're gonna.
I don't even know where that even came from. So, what do you think? Like your predictions? How do you think this ends?
I mean, outside of the, forgive me for saying the word generic, but generic, like, oh, we're gonna have a purple and blue fight. I'm expecting Monica more than Carol.
Yeah.
I think Monica makes more sense. It's like, hey, kid, you won't use a sword, and then we're gonna bug her off. Or like maybe it's gonna be a bit of a Shang-Chi ending where it's, this thing's giving off a beacon. Carol mentioned this beacon before. Right.
Yeah.
I do not want them to tie Shang-Chi into the Kree, and I'm terrified they are. I think
Do you think they could tie this into Secret Invasion?
Oh yeah. I'm honestly, I'm expecting that. I'm expecting it
Because it's almost natural, kind of a natural tie-in, because
in my ideal world, the Secret Invasion is the Inhumans.
Yeah,
I think the clandestines are more. I don't even know if it's the whole the whole group of people in their home is the clandestines, or if the group was just called clandestines. But if there's more of them on Earth that are like Kree sympathizers, and they know exactly what they are, and then the Kree just activate them, or what?
Sleeper cells.
Yeah. If they're like those, because obviously they mentioned that in Far From Home, right? There's Kree sleeper cells. Like, what if they're not actually Kree? They are just the hybrids. They are the Inhumans, and then Secret Invasion could very well be a combo of Skrulls and Inhumans and a Terrigen bomb. That would be my perfect way of doing it. I don't think you're gonna get a Terrigen bomb. I think that's way out of the question. But having the sleeper cells be humans, I'll be down for that. All right, please give me.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because then that it ties in Combined to a bigger world, and the whole thing of we're having the crystal powers to tie her into larger things. It's like, you don't need the crystal. She works with the stretchy as it is. She literally is a shapeshifter. Like, Secret Invasion. How did you miss this? You made the character, for love of Christ. My brain, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not making this show. I'm just consuming it.
If I tell you how I think it ends, I'd have to kill everybody in the stream. So I cannot.
How you think it ends compared to how it ends could be two different things.
It's true.
They don't have to be You can tell me how it ends after this.
I like the Inhumans sleeper cell thing. It's an interesting way to just kind of introduce the Inhumans in general. It'd be a new way to do that. Because
I get the sense you want to separate the Inhumans and the mutants, right? So you don't really want the Inhumans to be on Earth. You want that reserved for the mutants.
Yeah, because
the filthy, scummy muties that are just celestial.
Yeah, the bottom of the barrel.
And then I love it.
Rugrats.
The Inhumans are the grand cosmic spacefaring, majestic deities in the sky that we should all strive to be.
They always come off as royalty, I
mean, they literally are a monarchy.
That's what I'm saying. Even the comics kind of present them as they say the royal family all the time as to describe Black Bolt and the humans. So, I'd be interested to see I wouldn't mind seeing them on the blue area of the moon, kind of use that as and the Athaline or whatever kind of changes.
You bring up the blue area of the moon. Really just made me just clicked in my head. If the blue area of the moon is where the clandestines were trying to get to, I'm totally fine with everything.
Yeah.
Bar the crystal stuff. I would be more than fine with the entire plot of this show if that's the case. It would make and the blue area of the moon is just like another realm.
Yeah.
That you just can pass it, like you can go there whenever you want, really, but you're not in. It's a bit like how the Nine Realms work, right? Like they're not physically in the universe or whatever. They're just different places.
Dimensions.
Yeah. I'd be totally fine with that. It's a slight change, but I'd be fine with that.
You can also pull the Wakanda thing too, where like it's there, but you just don't see it.
Well, that's kind of what Attilan is anyway, right? Like,
yeah, but I mean, like, I like the idea of Attilan kind of changing locations like randomly, like.
Is how they stay hidden. They just constantly on the move. Right.
Or like they change area, like go from like the Himalayas to, or you could easily use the Inhumans as like how people perceive the Jinn, like.
Well, that's how I felt this show's been going, right? Like, Waleed says if Thor landed in the Himalayas, he'd be called a genius. Like, yeah, for me, that's like the Inhumans were there, or they are there. Like, or maybe they are on the moon, and they always have been, but the doorway to get to there has changed.
Yeah.
That's why no one's ever, because having an entire city like that built into the Himalayan mountains, you would have found it by now, right? But if you have that doorway constantly moving, like you can then tie them into so many different cultures. A bit like the Eternals, right? You can tie them into different cultures and things throughout history.
Yeah,
do it that way.
But that's how I would see it. It's like like it's not tied to one place. It's just, and like it almost feels like, I mean, it's almost like the Ten Rings, right? Or the Kunlun and all them is like they're physical places.
That's a lot better analogy than the Nine Realms, but yeah. Well done.
Because like they're kind of like they are physical places in the gateways.
They're in our reality, just a slightly different plane,
place, So it's like, I don't know, vibrating at a different frequency or something. I don't know. Like people that write this are a lot smarter than me, so like they'll figure that part out. But,
I mean, I feel like when you say it's a different dimension, that's all you need to do. It's like, hey, yeah, cool, different dimension, whatever. That's fine.
But like, I always see like, because like people are so like not narrow-minded, but they're like, they don't perceive things the way that it should be.
Yeah.
When they see a mutant, they're not going to see like a human being. They're going to see these are monsters. There's a guy that turns into living steel, and then there's a guy that has like really long fingernails, and
this woman just has really long hair and it's alive and it's made of crystal. What? Kill it now. I'll be so mad. You think I'm mad at this show now? Wait until they do that to any of them. I'll be on a warpath. I'll be on a warpath.
Shit.
You are
I see it as like I see it as like I'm breaking up.
I heard that.
Am I breaking up now?
That was totally fine. You're fine now, yeah.
Okay.
It was just literally that one like second. It's like, okay, that was weird.
I could have said something really bad in that 1 second.
To be honest, I thought you said the SH the bowel movement bad language word.
Oh, that would have been straight.
I was like, he's done it again. That's 3. My YouTube's gonna kill me. Like, why? I have to edit everything.
Like, all right, he's gone. You can't keep it cool, man. Like, it's
been a nice couple of years, but you swear too much now.
Done. Like, put a fork in him.
But do you remember what you were going to say?
No, I was just going to get on let's go on a longer tangent about like how people perceive the Inhumans.
Oh, go ahead. Fine, go ahead, do it.
Nah, I just see like the Inhumans being perceived differently from regular humans, and like you kind of get that with superheroes, like Thor's. People see Thor and they like just automatically assume, oh, he's a god, he's like the guy from the the Viking times, and I see that with the Inhumans. It's just we're dumb, we're Neanderthals, and we think.
It can explain, like, you run into a very risky road of oh, there's a secret society of people there, the Eternals, a secret society of people. Inhumans, Secret Society people, mutants, depending how they handle that, because that's going to be an interesting time. Like,
Yeah.
you can, a lot of things are very similar. Obviously, like, you got like Doctor Strange's origin is just a variant of Iron Man's. It's very, very similar. Not very similar, but yeah, it's kind of like the default sort of setting, really. So,
Yeah.
but having like Secret Society stuff can explain so much. Like, why does history contradict itself? Why is this similar to this and all that sort of stuff? It's like, well, if they're similar, then the myths and legends are going to be similar as well, and therefore we have our history of why things are like this.
I mean, we see it we saw it with the Eternals. That was So
I really want to see Russell Crowe, Zeus, and Angelina Jolie as Athena.
Oh yeah,
I want that conversation, or even Hercules. Yeah, right.
I mean, like, who are you?
Why is she Athena and not Athena? Like, where did that come from? No, did they do the comics thing? She was like the mouthpiece for them for the Greeks. Like, she was the embodiment of what the Greeks saw, but Athena was actually in Olympus the entire time, like, or omnipotent city, like, where we're gonna go. Like,
I mean, with that, they could just say, oh, like Zeus does remember her, who she is, like, I mean, they could play it off that way, where like, oh, it's been a long time since I've seen you, or something like that, I don't know. There's
a lot of interesting ways they could go about it.
I mean, it's the same with like Kingo and like all the other Eternals. Is like they could very well be familiar to the other gods,
Yeah. Very well could be.
We will see.
But yeah, I definitely feel like this episode could have been like that prison breakout episode for Kenobi. It could have been split up into more like other parts of episodes.
Yeah.
To be honest, I know we haven't talked about it a lot. I did really like the Aisha stuff and that whole bit there, right up until the partition bit. It's like, oh, of course, Kamala's the one. But I didn't like how they handled it. Cause I think you could have set up that mystery of what the stars were throughout the show a bit better. I like the sentiment that what you seek is seeking you. Like, the whole answer is like the answers that the generations in the family and everything are there, but it's she had to be there at the right moment. Yeah, the execution was just slightly off for me, and I think that's not a lot of this show. Like, half of this show is like, I like the idea, not all the ideas, obviously, but the execution is just slightly off. Man. There's just one idea that they'll never be able to make up.
I'm gonna have to get you a T-shirt that says I like everything else but this one idea, and put it in purple.
I do that a lot. So I like everything but this one thing, and I hate the hell out of it. I'm gonna talk about it. Just this one thing. Forget everything else. This one thing really needs to talk about.
Have you talked to Jared about his consensus on the show? I have not.
No, because my understanding of where Jared is at the minute is they're behind on this show, because they haven't been doing the episode reviews. They're going to do one big season thing. So I have no idea his thoughts on this show. So I'm interested to find out.
Yeah, I hope he's on my side. I don't know, like I need a better mouth.
Put it this way: I'm coming from a very specific point and a very specific place that. I don't expect others to understand or even give a crap about. Like,
no, I mean, like, it's
just
it's your preference.
Yeah, visual identifiers for superheroes to me are incredibly important, and a character I really like's lost theirs to an extent, and it's unfortunate. I feel
like this is gonna be a reoccurring thing.
And I want nothing more than that bangle to be destroyed and her to actually have proper powers. But I'm not going to get it, so it's whatever. But,
hashtag get rid of the bangle.
No, she has to have a bangle, right? It's part of the costume. But
don't make it part of the.
Sort your crap out, Marv.
I'll make sure that has been.
I want that parcel end verbatim.
There's this one guy in this one place.
I don't want
very
any words.
adamant about
I don't want any words changed. I want that verbatim passed on.
Like, there's a guy on the internet is telling me that I need to change this one thing about the show. Actually, I'm sure there's more than one person.
He adores everything else. Just this one.
He loves everything, but this one little purple thing.
It's like a really nice pair of clean underwear, and you find out the skid mark's still on it.
It wasn't washed before you got it.
I know it was washed. It was just that bad of a skid. Like, you know,
it was one of those days. You know?
Curry was worth it, but those skids. Oh Lord. I ain't coming out. But yeah, not that I think it's that bad. It's not terrible. It's just I just wish it was less vague. I can deal with it. Just you have to tell me what I'm dealing with.
I'm gonna use that analogy in a meeting one time.
This is like a skid mark. It ain't coming.
Just
out.
to see if I get fired or not. It's like, yeah, it's funny.
I'd be concerned if you did. If you got fired for just that, I'd be very concerned.
I would never do that. I would never walk in there and go, yeah, this show is like a fresh pair of underwear. But then you realize the skid mark is still there. I'm sure that they would instantly go, yeah, I don't think you need to be working here anymore.
But who gave you that analogy? Because we'll have that go. I'll take it. I'll take your spot.
I'll take the memory gum and that analogy, okay? And you can go now. Your check will be mailed to you.
Yeah, the family stuff is what shines in this show.
Yeah.
I adore it. Iman Vellani she can absolutely do no wrong, bar one scene. And I don't know what happened. The last thing I'm gonna say about the. Right before Najma dies and they're having that conversation, the pair of them forgot how to act, and then they went straight back into it. And I'm just like, what happened in this? Like, this one line read was bad. I don't get where it came from. But then it all just disappeared, and it's like I'll forget about it until this very specific moment in time where I'm trying to wrap up the show and it comes into my head. But I can forgive it for her because she's not an actor.
Yeah,
this is her first thing, so it's like, you know what, for what she's done the last 5 weeks, she absolutely gets a pass for one unfortunate. It wasn't even like the worst line read I've ever heard in my life. It was just noticeably stand out compared to everything else she's done in this show. It's like, you know,
I will say this: she is a better actor than the whole CW.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think she's a little diamond, that girl. I think she's fantastic. No.
She's gonna be a great asset.
I'm still convinced she was conceived in the lab by like Feige. I don't believe this person is actually like she's got to be an animatronic or something. Like, there's no way she actually is real.
I mean, animatronics have gotten a lot better in the last couple of years. So yeah.
Thanks, Japan, you scary buggers.
Yeah, I will thank my wife when I thank you for your culture. I'm going to culture appropriate you and all your culture.
But yeah,
it'll be on mine.
This was an unfortunate dip in this show, but I hope it, like, genuinely really hope it ends on the high that those first 2 episodes, or even 3. I like the 3rd episode. Like, I hope it can end on the high that first half deserves, because it would be really unfortunate if it didn't.
Yeah. I hope you.
No, I have hope that they'll land on that high. I really do. I just don't want to get invested in that hope.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stick to landing. In my opinion, I don't know, but then again, I am a shill for the company, so you know.
Literally, like, yeah. Very accurate phrasing there.
So I love everything. You know, yeah. I'm not being.
You know, I would even take a one division situation, right? The fighting can be as bad as it wants, as long as everything else surrounding it and it ends on that high. Like,
Need a little tie-up.
I'm fine with that. It wouldn't be the strongest series out there. I think that still might be one division of Moon Knight for me, but it will be a very, it would be worth it.
It'll be up there.
Yeah. So hopefully find out next week because the finale's in 2 days. I hope this is going to come out before. I think The Boys is out on Tuesday. I think I'm not entirely sure when that's going to come out. But
that was a fun episode, by the way.
That was a fun episode, and thank you, Nick and Micah, for joining again.
Thank you.
I have to talk to you about Friday because it might be they're on again and not Jared. I don't know what Jared's like, but I'll find out. But we might have 4 people next week. We might have 5. Tune in and find out for the finale of Ms.Marvel. So I almost said "love you bye" then, and I realized that's not what I say to people on the internet. That is specifically a friend thing.
I love you too, man.
I literally, you just sit in the PlayStation, just like "love you bye." And, that's how the squad signs off.
Hopefully, Nick doesn't pull a Daredevil comment again, and never mind.
You two specifically, if Nick can make it on the Friday, are going to have some ground rules again. I will be stopping the recording and starting it again because I can sense exactly how that will go. But
I won't
find out how that goes next week. So, bye bye.